Hello, welcome to the second commentary on this channel. I know I'm like 6 months a bit late, but life happened, alright? My bad. I sometimes forget I own a second channel. Anyways, this is the Splatoon video, Ink It Up as it's called. This was the first ever big video on the channel, and by big, it's in two categories. It's either a fully drawn video or mostly drawn, or it's where I review a game, but I tend to insert my friends into random parts of the game to make jokes and whatnot. Basically, I only do these for games that I really respect or, I think are worthy of a big video, And Splatoon was the first one I chose because I started playing Splatoon 3 around this time, and because I played Splatoon 3 and I really liked it, I decided to go back to the first game where it all started in the Wii U, and this video was a result. But if I'm gonna be honest, this video is one of the worst production cycles of this channel ever. Next one is the next video we're gonna get to, but yeah, this was not a fun video. This took about 3 months to make. This was mostly on me, and this was during a time where I was still fairly new to content creation. This is season 1 after all, and I was still very stubborn about getting help in general. So I basically just kind of winged it for this one, and I also overworked myself to hum back. Certain segments were so bad I overworked myself to having a fever. I had a breakdown. It was not fun, but thankfully well, I won't say after, but since then I've learned to be better at content creation, ask for more help and whatnot, and while this video, I'm not exactly like proud of it, like I don't like it that much, but I still don't think it's a bad video. Like at the time this was pretty good, but now it's alright, it's my most popular video on this channel, but I feel like the reason why that's the most popular is we'll get to it. Let's just start the video. Enough of my rambling. The Wii U and 3DS era wasn't exactly a great time for Nintendo and their fans, right? But I don't think it was all doom and gloom like most people make it out to be. But it wasn't great either. The 3DS was doing pretty well, I would say. Of course, you gotta have the recap first. And DS mentioned because, I'm a DS kid, go figure. The Wii U, on the other hand, not so much. To keep things short, the Wii U was marketed poorly, it didn't sell very well, and oh, this is before I did Alan's on a text, so ew. Oh, also, I don't know if you noticed, but I do that weird thing where I sometimes just freeze frame a frame before I cut to the next frame because I don't know. I was new to editing. I made a lot of weird choices back then. It's hard to say. Oh, yes. This video is kind of where it started the whole I edit gameplay to songs, because when I listen to music, I just kind of get in the zone and my mind just kind of, does that shit. Like, I really like this segment. This is still my favorite from this video. I really like this one. Yep. It's throughout the whole video, but this one's my favorite. Also, you may have noticed, but I'm using the E3 version of the Splatak team. Sorry if I said that wrong. Because I just think it hits harder, But that's just a personal thing. And it is a team of Splatoon, so it's a perfect intro song. Colorful world and shooting ink instead. Splatoon had a concept basically shooting ink out of your weapon, which can not only be used to kill, spite your enemies, but you could also use it to cover the You see John Batman and Juan Batman. I found that really funny, even though that wasn't an intentional editing choice. That was not intentional, but whatever. And to refill it, you have to swim in your team's ink. But you can also use this as a means to move around the map faster. Though you can't swim in your enemy's ink, that would just slow you down or kill you. It's a very simple gameplay loop, but you'll be surprised at how well this works. There's also these things you can oh, nah, the Jam Session one is playing now, I think. I forget. Probably though.
But they can really pack a punch. And not to mention, this game was also one of the few games to actually...
I think this could have done better. Like, I could have had the stick figure in before, like much later in, rather than just stand there. It just seems kind of lame.
This was basically a great way for the two to stand out.
But whatever, the joke still lands.
Fortnite, including Gyro later on. Though, if you understandably don't like motion...
Ah yes, the Fortnite mention.
Another thing that made this game stand out at the time was the fact of how heavily it was marketed. There's a bunch of ads that are pretty
ah
cool,
yes, the infamous You're a Squid Now ad.
They also had ads like...
Ooh. Yes, the
Another cool
redraw
thing
of a
Nintendo did
funny
with this
image.
game was also house the global
I think you
test
know the
file.
one.
This was basically an event that
Uh,
had where people could download
It's
this for
weird
free,
seeing these
and at
designs, I'm
certain
not gonna
times people would be
lie.
able to
I
play a
got so
bunch of
used to
online
Season
matches
2
for a
designs
specific
onward
period of
that
time.
going
It was a
anything
great way to
Season
get a
1
feel
is
for our
so
product, and I'm
weird
glad they
now.
kept the tradition for
Like,
later games as
my
well. But
god.
for me personally, I
But
didn't even own a Wii U until
it's not like I
2018
hate the
or
Season 1
so.
stuff, it's
I
just
never
weird
got
looking back
Splatoon
at
until
it.
the
Even though it
Game
makes up
Pack
majority of the
It
channel
wasn't
right
until
now, it's
recently
still
where I
weird to
actually tried the
see
first game
Season 1
because how else
style.
am I gonna get used to my Wii U?
Like,
But enough
I
about
don't
rambling
consider
for
myself an
now.
artist,
Let's
I'm still not
finally
very
talk
good,
about
but
the
this
damn
was,
game,
ooh, you know? Oh, and here, this is the part why I think the video is so popular. I'll let this intro play first, but I hate how it just slides up. It could just faded in, but god, that looks so bad. But basically, I think the background is what contributed to it because it goes way too hard for no reason. The artist who made this, Kasumi, she's someone I know in real life. Uh, Bloxer was supposed to make the background, but he kept on his program kept on crashing, so he just gave up. And he doesn't really like Splatoon, so it's like, yeah, I don't want to force it. So I had my friend Kazumi make it, and I should have told her to tone it down a bit because she went way too hard on it. Like, it looks good, but it sticks out like a sore thumb because this channel's whole thing is simple art, you know? So a background like that is just, oh my god. Couple that with the stick figures, they look good, but my god. Yeah, I think that's why this video is my most popular. It's just because of that background. Not that I hate her work, it's still good, it just doesn't fit with this channel. Thankfully, we've gotten better at that since, I think. Anyways, the video, me versus Rambling, because of course.
But at least it's neat to see all the players you met throughout your matches, and you can even go to this totally not shady spot over here. But enough about the hub.
Nah, the not so shady spot joke, because, you know. Oh god, this is so fucking weird to see, because this is before I knew how to crossfade frames together so they actually look good. But I also didn't know how to color. I didn't know that I could just fucking bucket fill the heads with black, so like the backgrounds don't, like, you know, you can't see the backgrounds to the stick figures heads. But for some reason I didn't know that until like season 2, so it just fucking looks bad. My god, I hate that shit in my older videos. Ew.
We're greeted by an old guy who says that the Octarians are
anyways,
before basically telling us that he knows that they're up to something, and it's up to us to save the great Zapfish and Inkopolis as well. Congratulations, you're an agent now.
I wanted that segment to have multiple people, but again, this was before I was more willing to get help, so I was just stubborn bitch and did it myself, and that joke doesn't really land, you know? It could have used at least a stock applause sound effect or something at least, but no, I just didn't care. Like, you can tell at some points I just kind of want this video to get out because of how taxing this was on me. Like, ugh.
How the game works. And it's a good thing that these levels don't overstay their welcome. These levels can be a handful of things. Simply getting to the Zapfish, avoiding Dawn Strikes by staying in ink as long as you can, some new level specific gimmick, like these sponges that expand upon inking them, and finally, the opposite to your player character, the Octarians.
Oh, I wanted this skit to have more of an action feel, but this was before I knew how to draw anything action related, so it just kind of fucking ends. Which I wish I did more to it, but it just kind of ends. Like, I guess the joke I was going for is, oh, he's too good at the game, which is true, but yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of the guy starting to do Snicks, here's Splatoon 1 guy. I started writing this video before we both actually started, like we still talked a lot. Splatoon is what got us closer, I think, but this was I started writing this video before I even heard him in voice call, so I assumed he was just a guy who didn't really talk. So I based his whole character off of just not talking because he's shy. And when I got halfway to this video, he actually started speaking more. So, but by then I was already production on this video had already started. So, oh yeah, this one, Cyanide said this is the most scuffed thing he's had to draw. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Snicks, like, he already started talking, so it was just like, at that point it was just like, what the hell, like, not what the hell, but just like, well, why would I Why would I
After
redraw the
beating
whole
4
thing at
worlds,
that point,
he
redo the whole
finally comes
video?
out on the
At this
final
point, his
world,
whole trait is
and
just being
this is where it's like getting
silent and
tired of
shy,
the story
so
mode.
I
It's not that
figured
the
that
levels
would just
get
be his
worse,
character
it
from
just
now
gets
on,
repetitive.
and
With Splatoon
well,
3,
I
for
really like the
example,
direction
each
I
level
went
that
in.
story mode lets you
His
change the
design now is
weapons
basically
each
just
time.
basically
You always remember
a
completely
combination of those
level, making each level
characteristics,
feel
and
fresh.
except he has the
In
inkling
Splatoon
ears
1,
because
you're
Splatoon
always
1
stuck
guy,
with the hero strike
but
story mode, and the only
I'm
thing
really
you can
proud of
change
it. This
is
video is
bombs.
basically a star
So
of
by
his
the final
character,
world, it
and
gets kinda
yeah,
repetitive,
you haven't seen
don't
him
you
much,
think?
but you will eventually,
Thankfully,
trust
there's only
me.
6 more levels left to take care of, so just do that.
Anyways,
and it's on to the final boss, DJ Octavio.
oh boy, this segment has a problem here that I don't like. But first, another music segment because again, Splatoon's about music,
This
kinda.
is the final
Gotta
boss
do
fight
that.
of the story mode, and the best one. This fight is basically a long chase where you'll just try to avoid whatever he fires at you until he fires his bomb, dub stomps you, hit you 3 times, and then repeat. Though, the more you progress, the more shit he'll throw at you. Then near the end,
Ah yes, the incantation, calamari incantation. I forget what it's called. Sorry, I'm really bad at names. Of course, you gotta have it. You know. Here it is. Pretty sure when people saw this 2015, their pants were off, flying off or some shit. My God, what a hype ass segment.
this is the part
Oh,
where
this is
the boss
supposed to be a
starts
smug
running.
face, but I didn't know how
After
to
one
draw
final
good
push,
close-ups.
you
I still
finally beat
don't,
him.
but I was
The
even
great
worse back
Zapdos
then.
return.
So
Boom.
that just looks
Credit.
bad.
Being
Oh my
Storm
God.
Mode, you get the hero and Arclin gear
Ooh.
to wear for online battles, and the Zapfish is now part of the title screen. It's worth mentioning that if you 100% story mode, you get the Hero Shot replica, which is basically the copy of the Hero Shot, but now you can use it online. Sweet. Overall, story mode is a nice thing to have. It's only about 5
I
hours
forgot to
long,
mention,
and
but this
something
was still season
mind-blowing,
1,
but
so
it's
I had
nice
an
to be
obsession
able to
with
get the
fading in
hero
and out
feel
a
of the
lot
game,
during
controls,
between
and all that.
segments, and then it became crossfading, and now I just don't do it because I realize
Well,
there's no
with the
need to
great
do it.
Zapfish restored, I guess it's time to look at the online multiplayer, huh?
Again, lack of crossfading, really. Ooh. Also, lack of the booyah sound
Finally,
effect could
the
have,
main mode of the game,
or the ping that
online
happens.
multiplayer.
It's missing something there. I still don't know why I put this part in, but I don't mind it. I actually think this
But
was
before diving
a nice
into the
choice.
various modes and what they offer, remember how I said this game was one of the few games to actually use the gamepad? Yeah, that mainly comes into play in this.
Oh yes,
one.
Nix
While the
had to
gamepad was
record
mainly used for
gamepad
the
footage
map
for
and
me
story
because
mode,
I
and
don't have a
multiplayer, they
tripod,
really use
and I don't think a
gamepad.
webcam's gonna
Not
cut
only
it.
is it your map,
But
but it
also
can be
because
for
since he
various
had
other
to record
things,
webcam
such as
footage
with
for
your
me or
teammates.
gameplay footage,
This is something
he had
you
to
can
play
do
without
at
gyro,
any
and it
time,
was
so I think
it
you
was
and them
rough,
are alive.
but I
While
appreciate
this is a
it.
great method to get to the
Your
action
sacrifice will
faster,
not be
you better
forgotten,
make sure you
soldier.
don't have to jump into
Who?
someone being camped, because that's always fun. Another thing you can do with the gamepad is the specials. You get to use them after inking enough turf, but you also lose part of it when you get splatted. The specials depend on what weapon you use. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm not talking loud because there's not a lot to say. It's also a longer video. Actually, no, Blue Rat was longer, but that was my first video, so you know, a lot to say. And I'm also alone this time.
Are actually fair and fun to use. But then you've got stuff like the airstrike.
Oh boy, the ink strike. That's ooh. But the real PTSD.
And then there's the Kraken,
Kraken.
which makes you a Kraken that's not only invincible, but also one taps anything near it.
And then the
is
real
crushing.
PTSD.
But that doesn't compare
Killer
to
Whale.
This
This
huge
one
thing
deserved a
that
joke.
quite literally
It's
decimates
that sound
anything
is
with
basically
speed.
like
I can
PTSD
still
for
hear
Splatoon
those in my
players.
dreams, as a matter of fact. But the point is that all these specials are still really fun to use, and while I understand why they were toned down in the later games, for the most part, it makes the game
Ah
feel
yes, the
more,
reef slider.
along with the
That's
gamepad. As I
ooh.
said before, the gamepad is
I was
used
one
for
of those
most
annoying
things,
people who use the
but while
arrow
I
spray in
still prefer
Splatoon 3 and tell
controls
us, wait,
because
this
rather
weapon
than
is
a
shit.
huge chunky gamepad,
Who?
even I can't deny that they made the game really work with the gamepad. I found myself getting more comfortable the more I played.
Yeah,
But
the
what about
gamepad
the
is
weapons?
unbeatable.
Well,
Like
you
Splatoon
can
2,
advise
3
your
is
store.
great,
The more you
but
level up, the more
ooh, I
weapons
miss
you
the
can unlock.
gamepad playing
There's
that
a ton of
game. I
weapons
really
to
do.
use, each having their own pros and cons, and it's all a matter of personal preference, really. I'm not going to tell you which weapon to get or go over all of them because I'd be for hours.
Yeah,
but
no
the main
way.
point is that there's a ton of playstyles you can
No, I'm
do
not
here,
covering all
and
those
that's something
weapons.
I really
This isn't a
appreciate.
guide, guys.
Though
This is
you'll
a
probably be
review.
forced to play with few
Mick,
weapons when you start
I'm
the
a strict
game,
believer
so yeah,
of
some
play the
weapons
weapon you
require
enjoy.
special
Even if I hate
skills.
weapons,
Personally,
some
I
weapons,
use
if you play them and you enjoy them, good for you.
and
I'll
then
make
once
fun
I
of
reach
you,
high enough
but
level,
good for
it
you.
ends up all the
If
way
you
for
like
me.
just play weapons for the
But
meta or
what
shit, or
about the
characters in
moves?
fighting games, get out. Like you do not exist to me. Like God, play a character you enjoy. Don't play because they're the meta. Oh, and another segment, because of course you can tell I had fun editing these segments. These are just really where I liked.
So, the mode that most people probably play and recognize from this game, Turf War. This mode was basically all over the marketing of this game, and it's a pretty simple concept really. The goal is to basically ink as much turf as possible. The team who inks the most turf wins. When you win, it feels really good. When you lose...
Yes, the classic, you get fucking destroyed. It's always in the skate park for me too. Most of my losses are in skate park. I don't like this map, by the way. Oh, I didn't want to get Cyanide to laugh, so I just used the TF2 engineer sound effect, but that could have done better. I didn't have to use a low detail there. I could have done a close up, even if it would have looked terrible.
Obviously,
yeah.
in this mode a lot too. God, I fear the Kraken. Another thing to mention.
Simon also drew that. The Kraken, I drew the guy. That could have used better too. I could have done it behind a wall or something, like give it a horror feel. But again, for season 1, I was still figuring things out. I didn't know how to direct for shit. Just leave me alone.
Some of my favorites being Arona Mall, Mahi Mahi Resort, South Play Rig, etc.
I almost put Moray Towers here, but then South Play Rig won because I like that map better. But I still miss more Moray Towers. Oh, this statement aged like milk. I think they patched Mahi Mahi in Splatoon 3 to be better, so oopsie. Oh well. Oh, and here's ranked.
When you reach level 10, you can play ranked mode.
Honestly, I should have had a rank segment. Oh, I have a... I think I have the music segment for each mode too.
There's also squad battle.
I could have put them all into one segment, but I don't know why I didn't do that. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I made a lot of weird choices back in season 1.
Ranked has a total of 3 modes.
Oh yes.
How about we start with
this was before we had like we knew how to actual background artists except for a few, and even then I wasn't sure what to do for background, so I just had Flaming just draw interpretation of them. And they're not bad, but they are missing something considering now that, you know, I started doing backgrounds as shitty as they are. These season 1 videos definitely feel empty in the art department a bit.
Ooh. As long as possible, or until time runs out. When inking the points, however, you have to ink them a certain amount before you can claim them. Otherwise, they stay up for free grabs. Another cool thing
it's so weird though seeing Flaming's art now, or his art with the old style compared to new style. Like his art is great, but I think he shines the most in the new style. The old style isn't bad, but man, it's just weird seeing them now. You know, I don't know how to describe it. I'm so used to the new one, but either way, I'm getting off topic here. My bad. Like I said, not a lot for me to say here.
But if you ask me which ranked mode was the best, that's where tower control comes in.
Yes, everyone's favorite. At least mine. I really like this song and how I paired it. Like, it just, I don't know, when I listen to these songs, it just something happens in my head and I just sync up gameplay well. Like, I don't know how I do it. My mind just kind of goes on autopilot. It's not just Splatoon, it happens with anything really. Like, I was planning to make a bunch of second channel videos of my Splatoon 1 gameplay with edited to music, but I didn't because I just... motivation hard, okay? You have to understand. I do a lot of the work on this channel, so sometimes I just don't feel like it.
But it's also exciting when you manage to pull it off. Like Splat Zones, some specials can be used to cheese the more than...
A lot of the footage here, I put my mic, oopsie. A lot of the footage you see here is basically just from this one huge private battle session we had for Splatoon 1. It was really decent. It was really good. I mean, it was really just an excuse for me to get footage, but it was nice. I really enjoyed that. We had one more before the servers went down. Sad that happened. Yet another song segment, you know, it's a drill by now. I'll do this with every Splatoon video. I gotta, okay? And maybe except, I know, it's gonna happen with Octo Expansion too. Just not as often.
And carry it on to the other side of the map. But to prevent both teams from getting the Rainmaker easily, you have to shoot this barrier that surrounds it every time someone loses it. If broken, it'll produce a huge explosion, killing any enemies near it. After that, it's free for grabs. The Rainmaker slows you down and you can't super jump with it, meaning you have to carry the thing to yourself all the way to the end of the map. Not to worry though, the Rainmaker can defend. It's basically a bazooka.
Ah
and
yes,
you
there's
have to
some
basically
segments you
charge
can
it
see here
to
where a
point
guy
where
just
you
kind of
intend.
stood still the
That's where
entire
your
time.
teammates
The
come in.
Rainmaker and
In this
exploded.
mode, it's their job to ink the Rainmaker carrier
Like
path and kill the
some
others
of these
as
guys,
well.
so
If you
ooh,
die
playing
with the
this game.
Rainmaker, it drops you
You'll
where
see
you
it
died,
sometime
and
here.
you'll respawn again with the shield having to be broken again. It's also worth noting that
Yeah,
the
this guy,
environment
he
will
just stood
reset
the entire
Rainmaker
time and
back to the
then,
center.
you know,
Whichever
the
team gets
time
the
ran out.
first
I
to
don't
the
know
end
what he
or
was thinking.
first
He was
wins.
probably role
While
playing a
this
turret
mode
or
is
some
still
shit.
fun,
What the
it's my
hell?
least favorite out of the three. It's no Clan Blitz, but I don't know.
Ah yes, Clan Blitz. I got this in Splatoon 2 video, but
That's it for ranked mode.
whew,
Really. What
that
else
mode
there
is
to do with this
garbage. I'm
game?
sorry. My God. Whoo.
So back
But
when
that's
the
not
game
for
was
you.
still fresh, Nintendo would often
Splatfest.
host these Splatfest.
I couldn't even. Not
Not
much to say, but I still had to cover them. I actually got a couple people who were like, "Wow, you didn't cover them well, the Splatfest well. How could you?" Because I wasn't there for them. I'm sorry. It's hard. I can't rewind time, you know. But I still try, you know. I want to cover the game, so at least I can just talk about them, you know. It's not much, but at least I mentioned them. Unlike a certain segment here, which we'll talk about.
It's a shame you can't really experience these anymore. I really
Or
would
can
love to
you?
try these in the first game.
The Pretendo Flatfest was a ooh. I heard it do a couple more, but I've heard they aren't any better. This was buggy, and I've heard the others were buggier, which.
Turns out you can. Thanks to
Whoo!
your efforts of
But
very hard
again,
work as a
I've
great
just heard
content
from word.
network,
Don't take.
I was
I'm
able
not
to
sure if
try
that's true, but
Splatfest
if
in
they are
2022.
worse than this
It
attempt, then
was
who?
very buggy
You'll see here. It was
matches.
just buggy, but
So
it was still
I was
kind of
able to
cool
play
seeing
one
this.
match.
But
The weirdest part being that
the thing I
top
didn't mention is that there were.
despite
I
it
think
being
I didn't
only
mention this, but there were
counted
custom
for
Splatfests
things,
being
which really
made.
threw me
It's
off.
just like a
But
mod or
hey,
search, and
it
you would
worked.
coordinate using
It's not
Nintendo
a very
servers
long
and
way
like
to go,
Discord
but it's
servers.
a neat proof of
Uh,
concept.
I didn't cover that because I
What
forgot,
happens
honestly,
if you do
but.
Splatfest? Well, you
It's
get
a shame you
super
can't do those
snails,
anymore
which
because,
you
you know,
can
Nintendo
use by
servers are
going
down
towards
now.
not shady area at all. Here, you can use the snails to reroll stats in your gear. Which is
Again,
the
the topic didn't
next
much.
point,
I didn't touch it much
gears.
because again,
Once you reach
I don't
level
really
4,
care much
you're
about
pretty much
substats,
free
as I
to
say
browse all the
here
other
soon.
shuffle sites
But also,
with
you
us.
can't really get
These
shells
are
anymore, so
folks
is it really
who's
worth going
connect.
in depth in
These are
this?
optional
Again,
features
this is
for
a
those
review,
who
not a
spice up their
walkthrough.
inkling,
I'm just giving
but
my
these
general
also
thoughts
come
on the
with their own
game.
perks,
So,
basically.
you know,
Each
spare
gear
me.
basically
I'm
has
sorry.
numerous abilities along with their own substat. These builds are completely random, and the only way to reroll these is getting a new one if it's available, or rerolling as mentioned before. This won't be a problem as Splatfest for sure thing, but they really aren't. Alternatively, you could just do what I do and not really give a shit about this.
Ah yes, the dab, because I thought it was funny. Like, you know, in the ironic sense. I wasn't unironically drawing it down going, wow, this is cool. I just thought, okay, draw my character with bling, and then just have him dab because fuck it.
And they might not even have the same stats.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, weird choices during season
one.
1. That's a thing you'll notice. Again, I was getting back into content creation. Kind of hard doing it. You know, it's kind of hard to get back into like content creation, especially with a new format like this.
I played this game just
I forgot to mention the whole world building stuff, so it just kind of shoved into text. Oopsie.
The game encourages this with these little scrolls in the story mode as well. All these little details, however, combine for a really good looking title for the Wii U, which keeps a consistent 60 frames per second with little lag. If I had to complain in one
It does
area,
lag
though,
with
it would be
hackers
how
though
stiff
in
the
matches, but I
animations
actually
look,
didn't
along with
encounter a
how
lot of
dull the
hackers,
game
so
look overall. Because I played 3 first and then came back to 1, it's hard to not notice how much the graphics and animations really have improved since the first game.
at this comparison, I still think the Splatoon 1 animation, I said season, is good, but I don't know, like, I came from 3, so, you know, I'm gonna obviously
Sure,
think
it's a
3 is better in that
difference,
regard.
But that being said, Splatoon 1 is still a very good looking game, and it's far from the worst the Wii U has to offer graphically. So when it normally comes to shooters, the most you'll be hearing in game is
Gotta have a 242 Furious clip. This shit is great.
Splatoon, on the
Classic.
other hand,
Turbo Chip is my favorite band. Can you tell? I really like this
Splatoon
band,
just
but
full-on embraces music that is
this is
fast,
unfortunately
frantic, and I
the
love
biggest
it.
regret I
I
have
mean,
with
for
this
God's
video.
sakes, the 2 people who literally
is-
make the announcements are musical idols. It's worth knowing that a lot of songs have these vocals, which is an interesting
Like,
choice to say.
you'll
the least.
see.
And yeah, it's not gonna win over everybody. I get
just
it,
wait.
But I eventually got used to it, and now I listen to it a lot. And that's not even mentioning the different bands.
I
really should stop.
See, this is the
looking
biggest
into
problem I
the
have with this
lore.
video is
Another
the
cool
bands
thing
are
to
an integral
mention is
part,
that while
but
the band
for
music
some
can
reason,
be
I straight up
fast
just
and
went,
crazy,
ah man, that's too
certain
much.
music
I'm not
does
covering it.
have
I
a
made a
much
cop out
different,
joke,
calmer
which
tone.
some people didn't like, which I understand. Oh, burp music, gotta have it. But it's just, why didn't I send her that text? Ew. Anyways, what I'm saying is, I decided to just not cover the bands when I could have just gone over how these different bands play some examples, called a day, but I didn't, which why I don't know. That was again really weird decisions by me over here back in season 1. At least by this Splatoon 2 video, I did actually talk about the bands and stuff and compared them. So you know, good job me. Took you a year or two, but took you a year to correct your mistake, but better late than never.
It sure is a great track for when the other team is about to turn the tables and steamroll you. But yeah,
Another
music is
steamroll.
probably one of the
Yeah, a
most
lot of
defining aspects
we
of
got our
it.
ass
And even
kicked
the whole
kicked
franchise.
moments here,
There's
huh?
a lot more to be said about the music itself, but then we'd be here for days.
Yeah, we would be. Again, I got a schedule. I got a video to talk
That's
about.
Splatoon. For Nintendo's first dive into the shooter genre, I'd say they did a pretty good job. It's worth a shot.
As the Wii U Me Maker music is playing, because I like that track. It gets me very sentimental. Okay, I'm not nostalgic for Splatoon, but I'm nostalgic for the Wii U 3DS era because I was a 3DS kid.
Each Splatoon game is like a different.
Yes. During this time, I suffered through not being able to eat milk without, you know, bowel issues. It's gone now, but it was a weird period of time for me. So I decided, Toflaming, just make it a joke. Just make the analogy a fucking shitting joke, I guess. Again, I made weird decisions. You heard that a lot.
And so much more. Splatoon was basically that light for the dark times Wii U owners were going
Light
back
in the
then.
dark
Some
time
might
or
say that
tunnel.
Splatoon
I
was the
don't know why I
least
said
killer
time.
app.
Ew.
There's a reason why so many people like the first game regardless of nostalgia. And after checking it out myself, I can see why. I had a blast visiting the game, and even got to do a private match on another server.
Yes, where most of the
I cannot
footage
tell you
comes
how nice
from.
it is to be in a private lobby with a bunch of Wii U owners in 2022. It really is amazing. Many people might say there's not a reason to check out 1 and more due to 2 and 3 existing.
Yes, you catch him because, you know, you come across a lot of bad randoms in with Salmon Run, so of course I'm gonna bend it out. Fuck you.
Most of the time, but there's always a good jump to pass the time. Thanks, Wii U Gamepad. Though even most of the player base is Japanese, which makes sense, as that's where Splatoon is the most popular.
So, what's the occasion?
Japan.
But
Japan.
overall, this game is still
I
a
could have
very
delivered.
good
I
game.
sucked
When
at
you
line
guys
delivery. I
decide to
still
check
do,
it
but
out,
I was even
even
worse with
if
line
you
delivery
have
back then.
if
Holy
you have a
shit,
Wii
my
U lying
god.
around, then I'll take you check it out if you're interested.
Shit's hard. Yes, the quick note that, oh shit, because there was the exploit going on, which Nintendo had a patch at the time, so you need a patch to you know, so because it could basically, this bug could basically break your console basically, or some exploiter could, so it was, you know, Nintendo shut down the market in Splatoon 1 servers for like months for this.
Welcome to the club, baby.
Yes, the shitty webcam, Wii U gamepad, and the credits. Again, I was feeling sentimental. So you know, for these big videos, I tend to do stuff like this, where it just kind of plays the credits with a credit song. This video was, again, it was the first big video. It was one of the worst production cycles, but I'm still really proud of this video. Kind of. Well, I'm not proud. Like, I'm proud of like how I came up with this at the time. You know, like at the time, this is like my 8th video ever. You know, back then it was great. Now, I think I could do better. Splatoon 2 video, while I don't care much for that game as I care for 1 or 3, I did a much better job at that video because obviously, it was season 2. I had more experience by then. I knew I had more I was doing. Also, because stupid me didn't know you could outline text where I just put shadows for some reason and it looks really bad. Like, that is disgusting. Oh my god. Ew. Also, the background was on Bloxer. Like I said, he doesn't like Splatoon, but he liked drawing this one because he knew he could just shove in a bunch of inside joke references. Like you can see Angry Bird, Orange N64, soccer, just a bunch of inside jokes, you know? I respect it. You might see the video glitching a bit. That's just my laptop being my laptop. Sorry. Oh well. Yeah, I don't really got more to say. Just to kind of let the credits roll. I had to kind of stretch these out a lot because I needed to fit the entire song. So you know, that's kind of a challenge because some credit songs drag on for way too long, and it's like, oh my god, get a move on, holy shit, you know. Also, yeah, the special things. A lot of people here. They're basically just people who like supported me throughout the entire video. But I tend to forget a lot of names for these, so if I leave names sometimes, I'm sorry. I forget, okay? I'm human, man. Yes, the code 5, which like only 2 people donate to, but whatever, it's optional. I had PowerPoint draw this one out because I told him to just replicate that one Inkling image, but in Snyx's color. It could have been better, but you know, I still think it's, you know, I don't know, it gives this video a nice ending, and that's it, really. That's Splatoon 1. Ink it up. I don't really have anything else to say. I said everything else I pretty much had to say. Like, I don't have a lot to say compared to Modern Blue Red because that video was the first video. This is 8. It's still rough, but I had more of an idea. But yeah, well, like I said, while I'm proud of how I made this at the time, but now I obviously would, you know, do things way better even alone. But I would obviously have more people pitch in and all that. But for a first big video, it wasn't too bad. People definitely like this video because it's my most popular one with like 4K views. So seeing some randoms just go, I think someone straight up said this video reignited their love for the Wii U, which is very heartwarming. Like, I didn't think my stupid videos with stick figures would get that far, but I really appreciate it. But that's about it for this commentary. Next time I'll see you for you know, Superstar Saga, which longest video on the channel, and it's the worst production cycle ever, which we'll get to, but whew, it's gonna be a doozy, that's for sure.